So you wrote to President Obama after your father had been arrested, and what did you say and what did you hear back?
I wrote a letter about my father's arrest, basically saying that the American administration should stop supporting dictators in Bahrain, and they're the reason for my father's arrest and for hundreds of other political prisoners who had done nothing wrong and are innocent but are in jail being tortured. Since that time, it's now been almost 3 months since I wrote that letter. Until now, I have heard nothing formal from anyone in the U.S. administration, and many people have been asking me about that, including many Americans on Twitter and on Facebook, asking me what kind of response did you get from the U.S. administration, and I keep telling them, unfortunately, nothing at all.
And what do Americans say to you on your Facebook page or in emails to you?
Honestly, a lot of people who are like following me on Twitter are Americans, and they're so supportive, and some of my best friends on Twitter are Americans. And sometimes I feel like they're here with us, you know, and their support means so much to me, because after like a really hard day, I go on Twitter and I see all their supportive messages, and it makes me feel so much better that there are people outside, like a world away, who feel for me, who know what we're going through, and who want to have a part of it, who want to be supportive and play a role in supporting the Bahraini people and what we're going through. And it's not just for me, it's for a lot of other activists, Bahraini activists who are on Twitter, and not just Bahraini, some Egyptians and Syrians as well. And it's really nice to have those people out there, and that's how the internet is making us all closer. It's not just, I mean, we've always known that the governments in the world have been closer in supporting each other, but now we actually have peoples of the world. Like, even if we think that the American administration is supporting dictators in Bahrain, we have like normal Americans who are supporting us, you know, through the internet, which is really, really great, and it makes me feel a lot better.
And you spoke there about the end of a hard day.
Yeah.
That you have sometimes. So tell me, what makes your day hard? What sort of pressure do you feel under day to day?
Well, most of the time what we try to do here, because like we're living through it, so sometimes you just have to not think about all the details, to just like try to get from one day to another. It's really difficult not knowing what's happening, like not hearing from my husband and my father for such long periods of time, not even phone calls sometimes. And we don't know when their cases are going to be, if they're going to be taken to court or not. We're always waiting for the phone call saying, oh, we're going to go to court, bring a lawyer. So we have a lawyer like waiting for us to tell him. So sometimes if you sit and think about all those things, it becomes a lot harder. And also sometimes other things trigger it. Like if I think about things that are hard for me, and then I realize a lot, like other people in my country have it much harder. For example, as I was telling you before, that sometimes I do get like a scare, like when I'm sleeping or something, that the riot police are gonna come all of a sudden.
They came to your house before?
2 times I was in a house that was attacked by riot police. Once in my family's house, and once in a relative's house where they attacked. And I'm always worried about my daughter, who's 1.5 now, and I'm always worried that they come while she's still in the house, and I don't know if she'd ever get over it if she saw masked men coming in with guns and beating up people. So, but when that happens, I don't really feel bad for myself as much as I remember that there are people who are going through so much worse. The drama that happened in my life is so little compared to other people, and still until now, like 3 months after the attack on our house, I still remember it so well. And if I hear like someone banging a door, it comes back to me. So I wonder about all these people who've been released now, for example, the prisoners who've been released, and all the torture that they've been through, like daily torture and beatings and psychological torture. And then even when they get home, that's not going to be over. You know, every night they're going to sleep and they're going to remember what happened to them, and they're going to wonder if they're going to be woken up by prison guards coming to torture them. And what really, really angers me is that those same people who torture them are walking around freely on our streets, and that's not going to make them feel safe, and that's not going to make these innocent people try to get over what happened to them and being victims of torture.
And so the government says it's making an attempt at national reconciliation by opening a national dialogue. What are the prospects of success for that, do you think? Can it work or not?
I think the government saying they're making an attempt in the first place is a joke. This is not an attempt at all. This is an attempt for the government of Bahrain to look better to the outside world, because they're getting a lot of pressure from human rights organizations and from sometimes even like the American administration and other governments. I think the government doesn't really care about the Bahraini people, and they're showing us that they don't care. The Bahraini people are asking for change, and the government is giving us some things that are basically meaningless. You know, like the national dialogue is very meaningless for the Bahraini people. You can't really achieve any kind of change through the national dialogue. The people who are involved in the national dialogue is kind of like, you have to think, are they really trying to anger the people of Bahrain by making a national dialogue where they invite like infamous torturers from the 90s, and where this torturer, he refuses to come to the national dialogue because opposition is there, you know, or you have those same people who are speaking out against Shias, causing sectarianism. They come to the national dialogue as well. This is not really a national dialogue, basically, and the people of Bahrain are not buying it. Even the people who are joining, even Al-Wafaq who are joining the national dialogue, are saying this is not really something substantial. This is not going to achieve any change. We are looking for real change. The prisoners who are innocent are still in prison. There are people who are saying that they were tortured until the last day they were released.